No, I've got to do the fasting. I'm going to get real skinny.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with what we've been conditioned to think is
Correct.
breakfast food.
This is my 7th year and I'm still figuring that out. I got an ask from that show. As soon as I land down in Queensland, everyone knows who I am. Can't believe it kind of happened. I would hate to see my face in this workout mode. Your appearance, you're ugly, you look old. The fans always hate the new person.
Right.
And I kind of relied on alcohol to like calm me down. The underlying thing I hadn't dealt with properly. That's when it becomes really tough. Just because you're fit doesn't mean you're fit.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Emily Weir. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, mate.
In terms of motivation for a workout right now, like it's always changes. Like I know, I always feel like
it does always change, doesn't it?
How are you feeling like right now?
Right now? I don't know, because I'm like with you and like I'm on camera, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But if the cameras were off, I'm like, let's sit down and have a burger.
Like this.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But I have already worked out today.
Have you?
Yeah, I did boxing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm into boxing, but I'm ready for a workout.
All right.
I can do it.
Sweet.
For sure.
How often are you sort of working out at the moment?
I try and work out every day.
Yeah, right.
I try and do at least some form of exercise every day.
Yep.
But it varies. Like with a cycle, especially for women, it's like sometimes you just need a bit more gentle.
Yeah.
Bit of yoga, bit of stretching.
Yeah.
But I'm really into boxing at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What did you get into that for?
I got into that because I'm currently seeing a wonderful guy who is like a nutritionist, spiritual kind of guy.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm changing like all my eating habits and stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm not fasting in the morning anymore.
Right.
We can get into that.
Yeah, let's talk about that for sure.
But he was like, I think you need to like get into a bit of boxing, a bit of kickboxing.
Yeah.
I think that it's really great for women with like repressed anger.
Yeah, right.
I might have some repressed anger. He seems to think so.
I think he's like, you do that,
He's
so
like,
then
"But
you're
I'm
not going to like yell at me.
I'm actually not an angry person, which is why I think he's like, you need to get in touch with it.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been doing that. It's been really good.
Yeah. So tell me about changing your whole diet and what were you doing before and now what are you up to?
Sure. So what I was doing fasting.
Yep.
So I'd wake up and I wouldn't eat till kind of like midday or after. And
from like 6 p.m. the day before?
I want to say that, but no, like I would eat
Just
late.
night.
I would just eat like, because some days I finish filming it, I won't get home till 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And then I was just like eating when I got home.
Yeah, okay.
I was not a meal prepper, like at all.
Yeah, right.
And then I started seeing Vaughan, who works for Alliance Sovereignty, shout out. He's fantastic. And he was like, why don't we try you having your biggest meal in the morning?
Yep.
Eating all organic.
Yep.
Grass-fed beef from like the market, raw milk, like everything.
Yeah, wow.
Just as like this kind of detox thing.
Yeah.
Just to see how I feel, just to change it up. And what I've noticed, because I would always eat food at midday and then I get really tired.
Yep.
And I'd be like coming onto set being like, I'm irritable. And I was irritable leading up to midday too.
Yeah, right.
Just like, it didn't work for me.
Yeah, okay.
And I guess that's because I was also eating late. But if I have my biggest meal in the morning,
Yep.
like steak, eggs, which sounds crazy. I would never have ever done that.
Yeah.
And then have a smaller meal for lunch and then like the smallest meal for dinner and like cut off time like 6:30.
Nice. Perfect.
Then so I've been doing that. And then you are kind of breaking a fast anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just energy levels for me.
Yeah.
I think the
Well, that's crazy that you weren't eating breakfast when you're going onto set and shooting and all that kind of stuff.
No, and I'd be up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, fuck.
And I was like, no, I've got to do the fasting till midday.
Yeah.
And I was just depleted. And really, I think what the most thing is, I was irritable.
Right.
I didn't really realize how irritable internally I can be if I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I just was like, things are annoying me, and things are annoying me less now that I'm eating earlier and more consistently. I think what it is, I think for women, I think we think, well, I certainly thought, well, if I'm not eating for this long, like I'm gonna get real skinny and and all of that stuff. But the payoff to that is you feel like shit. Like you feel irritable and angry and not energized. And this way, yes, I might be eating more healthy, but like more, I guess. And I'm a protein type, so that's always good to know. But I feel more energized.
Yeah.
Does it, like
100%.
I feel...
It's such a hard thing to teach people and to. It's almost rewiring people's brain, right? So first of all, the breakfast thing is funny.
Do you eat breakfast?
Well, yeah, but I don't have breakfast food, right? Like exactly what you just said. I will eat a
steak, yeah.
or eggs,
yeah,
or like spinach patties or
totally,
something.
like
whatever.
zucchini fritters,
yeah,
or
exactly.
like salmon.
But it's got nothing to do with what we've been conditioned to think is
Correct.
breakfast food.
Yes.
Look, at my most sort of
veggies,
toned and ripped and least amount of body fat ever, I was having 6 meals a day.
Wow.
You know, probably like a kilo of protein in terms of, like meat and stuff. Yeah, but so I was eating more than I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
I'm still only working out once a day.
Really?
Yeah, nothing crazy, no cardio, but it takes time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So instead of going, I need to lose 5 kilos, it's like, no, I want to transform my body.
Yes.
And I want to get stronger and
yes.
I want to do all this stuff. It takes like 6 months before you even see any sort of thing. And then the 6 months to a year is like where it all just sort of goes. Your body, like, my body changed shape. Like if you knew me before, I was skinny fat. You know, I was that
skinny fat.
Yeah, skinny, but it was all a
Shout
bit
out
sort
to
of
skinny fat.
Yeah, skinny fat people. Your shooting schedule's quite sporadic, right? Like you don't know exactly when you're shooting, sort of week to week.
Correct.
And then, obviously you shoot in your blocks and things like that, which, you're always allowed meals, but then how do you have a routine when it comes to that?
It's such a good question. And honestly, I've been on the show, this is my 7th year, and I'm still figuring that out.
Really?
Well, yeah, because this is the thing. So for example, I could be up at 4:30 in the morning and finish at 8 p.m.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
On a big day. That's not every day.
Yeah.
But then I might start at 10 a.m. and finish at 2 the next day.
Yeah, okay.
But it changes, and I only know what my week is ahead from the Thursday before.
Right.
So for example, this Thursday, I'll know only on Thursday what my next week is. So I can't lock anything in. I can't lock in dinner plans, birthdays, and I'm not whinging. It is part of the job, and I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
But in terms of setting a routine for yourself, it's really, it can be really tricky.
Yeah, and it's also the thing you need the most when it comes to health and fitness is like
consistency.
Consistency and doing it at the same time.
So that's right, and also getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
And like being like, I also need to be a human being.
Yeah,
and I do need to go to a dinner occasionally and
have
have a social life.
Yeah.
And then I might be out till 10 o'clock and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to be up in like 5 hours, right? So it's like juggling all that. I think what I can do and what I do have ownership over is going, okay, because generally the 5 a.m. starts are more rare. They do happen, like I've got one tomorrow.
Yep.
But I go, okay, whatever time I'm getting picked up, I'm gonna wake up an hour before that.
Right.
And in that hour, I'm gonna do my breathing, do my meditation, do some form of exercise for at least like 20 minutes. I try and do on early mornings at like 20-40.
Yep.
20 minutes of like spiritual kind of emotional, breathing, journaling, whatever, and then 40 minutes of like whatever else.
Yep.
But then if I have another day, and I don't start till 10, I'll still get up earlier and then I'll do a harder workout.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
And now it's the food prep, right? Like always eating.
Yeah, okay.
No after 6, and that is all within my control.
I have spoken to another Dancing with the Stars contestant.
Oh yes, dancing.
And so you did that a couple of years ago now?
2 years ago now, because they're currently filming this, yes. I was not in last year's and they're filming this year, so 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, okay. And everyone seems to get like super jacked doing that show.
People do get super jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got an ass from that show.
Yeah, right.
I had like it was like very pancake.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
Yeah, okay.
And then, no, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not. And then when I did that show, I was like, oh my God. And because it's all the movements and all your glutes, I got a bit of a bump.
Did you know sort of going into it that it would be quite physical? Like, did you do any sort of training or anything for it before you went in?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Like I knew the dates that it was coming up and I was like, okay, I need to somehow, like I tried to do like some kind of dancing before just to kind of get into it.
Yeah, right. Had you danced at all before?
I danced when I was younger.
Yeah, okay.
I did like jazz and tap and ballet when I was like 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
I was actually quite good as a kid.
Yeah, okay.
But then nothing.
I was going to say nothing came back.
Nothing since then. I found socialisation and, partying when you were younger. Like it just went out the window. So yeah, I did kind of get into it. I knew it was going to be a slog because a lot of people on the show had done it before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I had ample warning that it would be like very intensive.
Yeah.
And also during the rehearsal process, because you kind of rehearse for 6 weeks before you shoot the show. And so I was also filming Home and Away and running to rehearsals and doing both.
How does that work? Do they sort of give you sort of special allowances?
They do. Well, they do. They'll either write you out when you start filming the show, but during the rehearsal period, they are pretty lenient on you because it's within the Seven network.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
part of the Seven family.
Yeah, of course.
It's good for them. It's good for us. It's good for it's good for both shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just a quick break from the workout to let you know that this episode of Working With is brought to you by my gym partner, Revo Fitness. Revo gyms have got literally every single piece of equipment that you need for a great workout. Great for chest. All the gear for your back. Massage chairs for recovery. Plenty of squat racks for leg day. Just turns out that I hate leg day, so I'm not going to demonstrate that for you right now. You got great lighting for gym selfies. I look jacked in this mirror. Pilates studio, arms. And just so you know, this is a special, like, very heavy bar that doesn't need any weights, all right? And you get all of it for only $9.69 a week. And do you know what you get for $9.69 a week these days? Absolutely nothing. They're open 24/7. There's always one nearby, so no excuses, all right? Let's get back to the workout.
Nice technique. I'll definitely be going a lot slower than this. 3 to go, 2, 1. Nice.
Okay, what did I get?
120 metres.
Wait,
No,
it's
let
not
it
done.
stop,
She's
let it stop.
counting up. 130.
130. All right, I gotta beat that.
Okay.
Oh, this feels way longer than 30 seconds already.
Oh. 40.
Oh.
I was still going. 149.
It's all right. Good job.
Pretty good.
Good
Pretty
job.
good.
Good job.
You did well. Did you try? You tried pretty hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
the oath I did.
Yeah.
Home and Away in general.
Yes.
Very interested in Home and Away.
Okay, great.
Because I know a lot of people that have been on the show. I know it's a very hectic shoot schedule. Like,
Yes.
you make a movie, you get a bit of rehearsal time, you shoot maybe like a scene a day, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But first of all, I want to talk to you about how you got on the show,
Sure.
what the process was like,
Great.
and this being your 7th year,
Yep.
what was the initial contract like in terms of time?
Yep.
Because I've heard very different things about that too.
Okay, great. So, how I got on the show.
Yes.
So I went into Home and Away, like as an actor, as a unemployed actor. I was going for a lot of auditions.
Yep.
I auditioned for them for 2 roles that I got very close to.
Yeah, okay.
It was down to me and one for one of the times. And I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm from Brisbane.
Yep.
So my whole family, I don't know why the Brisbane thing matters, but it seems to be in Queensland, a lot more people watch the show.
I think it's a WA thing too. Like
In Sydney,
like people just,
I walk around here virtually anonymous.
Yeah, right.
As soon as I land down in Queensland, everyone knows who I am.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, even weirdly in Melbourne too.
Yeah, okay.
But Sydney, not at all.
Actually, just to take a tangent,
Which is great.
You've been to telethon.
I've been to telethon.
Yeah, so you would know. Like
The
people
best.
froth over. Home
I
and
love.
Away.
I lived in Perth for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
so I told my whole family about that, and then I didn't get that role, and I was like, oh my god. So then I went for another role, got close to it, didn't come through. Then my housemate, I was living with 2 actors at the time. My housemate comes home. She's like, here's the role I'm going for this role this week. And I looked at it, it was for Mackenzie Booth. And I'm like, why haven't they asked me for this? Like, this is my role.
Yeah, okay.
And she was like, look, she was so cool. My friend, one of my besties, Bella, she was like, hey, ask your agent, may the best man win.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
actors are not like
Yeah,
that.
I'd be like, don't you have
I'd
a
be
look
like,
at this?
yeah. She was like, go for it, babe.
Wow.
Called my agent, I was like, can I get in for this Mackenzie role? And she was like, no, honey, they don't want to see you. And I'm like, what? She's like, they've already seen a lot of your work. You know, you've gotten close because they just don't think you're the right fit. And I'm like, no,
What?
this cannot be. So I just was annoying and hustled and called my agent every day
So good.
and was just like, get me in the room, get me in the room, get me in the room. Someone called in sick, they had a availability,
Wow.
and I went in, and then I didn't hear anything for 7 weeks. 8 weeks, I'd forgotten about it. Not really, I was like trying to manifest, but I'd forgotten about it.
It's painful, isn't it? So long. And what's better, it would have been like a rush at the start. It would have been like, yeah, we need to see this, we need that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then like nothing.
Then nothing, crickets. And then, like 7-8 weeks later, I get a call and they're like, can you come in for a chemistry test with 2 of the other actors? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And then after that, 24 hours later, I found out I got it.
Sick.
Yeah. And it was just wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, it's like, I grew up watching the show and loving the show. And I just, I can't believe it kind of happened.
At the time, what had you done prior?
I'm a theatre actor by trade. So like I finished, I went to QT acting school.
Right, yep.
I finished in my 3rd year, I started to do professional plays. So I was on the circuit for that. I was doing independent theatre here because I thought, I've done like state theatre in Queensland and in Perth at Black Swan Theatre.
Yeah, okay.
And all of that. And I was like, I'm going to go to Sydney and they're just going to eat me up. And everyone's like, we don't know who you are. We don't care.
Right.
So the original contract from Mackenzie, the second part of your question, was it was a 3-year contract.
Okay, that's pretty long, hey?
It is long.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so, that's kind of main ensemble cast. Usually it'll be like a year to 3 years, and then you have the guest roles, which can be like 3 to 6 months kind of vibe.
Okay.
So so then I'm on to the, whatever that is, 7, so another contract after that to this, this now.
Yeah, wow. And what's sort of in your head, what do you want to achieve on the show? Like, are you happy with everything you've done and you're like, if I go out tomorrow in a fiery blaze, which normally happens in
that's true, a car crash,
are you happy, or you want to sort of do more, and then move on to?
I think there's always more to be discovered with a character. There's different angles. Like, I'm currently filming, which a really important storyline that I think is very topical. We're obviously 6 months ahead, so I can't say what it is, but it's nothing I've done before.
Right.
And it's a very personal journey, I think, for women, a lot of women that go through it. So I'm really excited for that. And that's kind of what we're filming at the moment, which has been really exciting.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is always fantastic, you know. And what's great about our show is that the writers are really collaborative. Like Lou, our head writer, like if you have an idea and you want to explore it, she will be like, okay, let's try and make it work. Like, it's really amazing like that. Yeah. So many other shows is like, don't even go near the writing room, you know.
Yeah.
I love being there. I mean, the community at Home and Away is really amazing. Like, I've made some of the best friends I've ever made.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of have my finger in a couple of pies. Like, I always want to be an actor, but I also know, as you know, being a creative, that like 92% of creatives are unemployed.
Yep.
So what do you do in the meantime? And so I'm kind of looking at the presenting route.
Yeah, nice.
And there's a play I want to kind of put on at some point.
Yeah, that you wrote?
No. Okay. No, God, I'm not a writer. There's a play that I really like that's been done over in England, and I don't think it's been done here, so I want to bring that here potentially. Yeah, awesome. Just, maybe, putting my finger in a few pies.
Yeah, okay.
To do on the side, while I also work and continue this journey. I would hate to see my face in this workout mode.
It's all right. Cameras are behind you, it's fine. And stop. Yeah. You've beaten it this time in the 40s. 147. Boom. Good shit.
Okay.
Excellent.
That was good.
Definitely see how you can vomit after this.
Go on. Get into that. Yeah, you beat it. Oh, you beat it. You beat it. 165.
It's funny, the effort though, I thought I'd be like way above that. Did you ever like mentally prepare yourself to get on a national TV show? Was there any discussion ever about that?
Not really.
Yeah, okay.
Not really. The good thing about when I started 7 years ago is that social media wasn't
as full on
back then.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I barely had an Instagram.
Yeah, right.
7 years ago. Like, I had a page, but I didn't, I never posted, I wasn't on it much. I was very late to the Instagram game. Certainly not like it is now. And I think because we're always on it, we think it's always been this way.
Yeah, for sure.
But there just was a time when it wasn't that way. So when I got on the show, I was just told by mentors, like, don't look at it.
Yeah, right.
Like, don't read comments. Don't Google yourself. I did.
Of course you do.
I did, but then I didn't. Like, I did for a bit, and
Yep.
then I got like 1 or 2 bad comments,
Yeah, right.
and it really affected me.
What are they commenting on in
Your
terms of you like?
appearance as a woman.
Oh, really?
Your appearance, you're ugly, you look old, you're just not attractive, like whatever, you're fat, all that stuff. It's
This
all
is
that
on
stuff.
your stuff, like your Instagram,
On my,
or the.
yeah, like on photos, like, yeah, there was stuff like that, like vomit emojis, just like,
What the fuck?
yeah. And then on other articles, you know.
Yeah, right. Yep.
There was comments
Comments on
like, I
articles.
read that once, and like, honestly, I only did it once or twice,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
I was like, I actually can't.
Yeah. Wow.
Because of me. Some people can.
Yep.
I can't. I am too sensitive. So I wasn't at the place back then where I was secure enough to kind
Yeah.
of let it wash off me. I
Yep.
just wasn't.
Well, it's also that, and that's why I sort of asked, because like if you're just starting out on something, if you're going into any sort of acting at all,
Yeah.
the confidence is such a major part of it, because you need the confidence to be able to dive into that character or whatever it is. So if someone's out there like knocking the confidence down, I guess you need like mentors to tell you like, don't fucking listen, it's fine,
Totally.
it's all bullshit, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I try and do that with the younger cast that come on the show now.
Yep.
I try and like say to them, like, really, I get the need to want to look. Like, I so understand
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because as well, with the bad comments, there's a lot of good comments.
100%, but you only
Like,
remember the bad ones.
But you only remember the bad ones.
Yeah.
And so when I went off it, as in I didn't check it, I remember like a couple of years later when I felt more grounded
Yeah,
and
okay.
a bit more understanding of what this world is and
Yeah, yeah.
trolls and everything. I remember my brother said to me, he's like, I'm so glad you didn't read them.
Yeah, right.
Because it got bad apparently.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing, the nature of Home and Away is the fans always hate the new person
Right.
for at least a year.
Really?
Yeah. They don't like anyone new unless they're like a good character who's coming in as a love interest. Like,
Yeah, okay.
kind of, you get a little, like, until they get more comfortable with you.
Yeah, right.
I always like to think of it, it's like if you're having a dinner party and there's like a new person, you're
Yeah.
kind of a bit like,
It's
oh, this is a
standoffish.
different vibe. We don't know how to
Yeah.
interact. We're all over here having
Yeah,
a good
okay.
time and we want to get you in, but we don't. They're more skeptical of you.
Yeah, right.
And that takes a little while to massage in.
Yeah,
And then
right.
after a year, you're like part of the furniture and then they've got someone else
Yeah.
that they're going, they're new, we don't like them.
Is the other cast and the crew not the same? Like, are they pretty welcoming, or is it sort of like, you know, there's people on 3-month contracts, like, yeah, you're not going to be around for long, so we won't sort of invest too
Not
much
at all.
time?
I think Home and Away is, I mean, I've not worked on a lot of network TV shows.
Yeah.
This is my only one actually. But from what I know of guest cast coming in, we have a lot of amazing guest cast,
Yeah.
like really well-named people who come on, and they always say like, this is the most welcoming.
Yeah, right.
Like you are, there is no kind of real hierarchy on the floor.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
on a lot of sets, as you will know, like the actor's a king.
Yep.
And like whatever they want, like everyone's looking to them, and you know, if they're in a mood, you know, it's not like that on our show.
Yeah,
like
okay,
the
good.
crew are just as important. Like the crew will be like, you need to come. Like it's very
Right, yeah.
interactive in that way.
Yeah, good.
Which kind of makes it a very even playing field. There's no real hierarchy.
Yep.
As much as there are, I mean, of course there's hierarchy, but not as much as other shows, I
Yep.
would say.
Yeah.
So everyone's really welcoming. It is a home and away family. Like
Oh, nice.
It really is, yeah.
And then I did read, and
What did you
we,
read?
we don't have to talk about this if
The
you don't
alcohol.
want to. The alcohol.
I know. Get into it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't drink. Well,
don't drink?
I stopped drinking. So,
Oh, mate, congrats.
yeah,
When?
I was like, I think this is like 9 years maybe.
9 years.
Yeah.
Good on
Yeah.
you.
But mine was just a health thing. Like, it wasn't,
Oh yeah.
didn't necessarily have a problem with it. I was just like, all I actually needed was a trainer to go, you know, like, if you're trying to do this, drinking's really shit for it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, so I do it then.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like, there's been multiple opportunities to get back into it, but I just can't be bothered.
So you literally have not touched a drop in 9 years. Good on you, man.
Yeah. How about you?
Mine's a different story. I definitely drank too much.
Right.
And I kind of relied on alcohol to like calm me down.
Yep.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just, because I was in my 20s.
Yeah. Just part.
And everyone was partying and everyone's doing it. And so I didn't really think I had a problem until I kind of knew I had a problem, if that
Right,
makes sense.
yeah,
Like I would
okay.
people would say, so I was a really bad drunk.
Right.
Like one of those people that would be the life of the party, one drink over,
all over.
Just no nasty.
Yeah, right.
Not nice.
Okay.
It's just really damaging. Damaging to not only the people I loved in my life, but also to myself, because it wasn't a true representation of who I am, you know? But that is the disease of alcoholism, unfortunately, which is in my family through the gene pool, both sides.
Yeah,
like
right.
my mum's side and my dad's side.
Yep.
So I was just luck of the draw, I guess. And so for me, it was, I remember I had a really bad night after years of bad nights, and I just woke up and I could feel that everyone was kind of pulling away from me.
Right.
And I just made the decision then and there to kind of stop.
Shit.
And that was before I got on the show.
Yeah, okay.
Alcoholism is more of a disease of the mind. Like addiction is in your mind.
Yep.
Like everything's to excess and everything's,
Yeah.
you know, extreme. Like even emotions, like we don't like to feel our emotions, so we'll numb them. Or,
Yeah, right.
You know, and for me it was like, I didn't cure that part, I just stopped drinking.
Yeah, okay.
But I didn't cure the obsessive, addictive thing.
Right.
And so it kind of went into, for a long while there, it went into exercise.
Right, yep.
And obsessive eating.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
And so that became my like numbing, was to like have like not many meals a day and be really skinny because I'm on a national
Take
shot.
the focus from that and put it on this.
Correct,
and,
but not
off I go.
actually dealing with the underneath insecurities and things that were painful that I wanted to run away from.
Yep.
And so so I kind of went on that journey, but I was like, I'm not drinking anymore, and everyone's going, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm cured.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, you know, and that kind of obsession about food and weight, and then it got, you know, and then that kind of teetered down, and then it went into relationships.
Right.
Into obsessive relationships, and that's another whole, but the thing is, my point is, the underlying thing I hadn't dealt with properly.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, you know.
That's interesting, because you don't hear that a lot from people who have said that they've got a problem with alcohol. They sort of go, I stopped drinking and everything was great after that.
No, for me it wasn't. For me it was.
Yep.
It was for a while.
Yep.
And then the disease of the mind, which is where addiction lies. Like I always say, like, I didn't realize how alcoholic I was or how much of an addict I was until I stopped drinking. And then I really felt it.
Yeah,
you know, because that's the number.
Yep.
The number is the alcohol, the number is the food, the number is the relationship.
Yeah.
And when you actually stop it
Yep.
and you have to listen to your own thoughts, that's when it becomes really tough. And you need, and for me, I had to get into like a 12-step recovery program to kind of deal with that.
Yeah.
And unlock and unpick and, you know, kind of form a new way of dealing with myself and other people, and you know, and it's an ongoing process, you know, as I grow. But
you feel it's helped and working?
100% saved my life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the community in those programs, and, the like-mindedness, and you know, it's really incredible. And I really don't believe I would have stayed sober for as long as I have without it.
Yeah, wow.
But just there's no way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well done. It's funny how it always turns, a lot of it turns into a fitness or a food thing,
Totally.
because that's the thing that we can go, well, yeah, but if I'm it's almost like it's a show. Like you're going, well, no, I'm showing everybody that I'm fine because I'm fit and I'm healthy. And
what is becoming clearer and clearer to me as I get older and I observe myself and others, it's like, just because you're fit doesn't mean you're fit.
Yes.
Just because you're like, there's also emotional work and spiritual and mental work that also has to pair with the body stuff. Like I'm a big advocate for like, if your mind stuck, move your body, and if your body stuck, move your mind.
Yes.
Like I'm all for that, but the two, you have to find synergy between all the mechanisms.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't just be fit and then go out and be a real asshole.
Yeah, a crazy person. Yeah.
Like, which people are, but they think they're well.
Yes.
And it's like, the shell is one part of the whole thing.
Yes, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they all need to be tended to.
Yeah. Emily, this has been amazing.
Was it?
Yeah, great, really great.
I could chat to you all day.
Yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah,
So
I loved it too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
This is great.